Alrighty, y'all. So today we're going to be trying out something that I thought was a very cool idea. I actually got this idea from my live stream, I think a week ago now, and I haven't really done the video yet until now. I want to try and rank, it's not all the DPSs in the game, but just the five that I've chosen, which being, those five are Lilla, Modernia, Scarlet, Black Shadow, obviously Red Hood, and the new Iron character. I want to see what is the ranking for their DPS, right? So we're going to be using the exact same composition and essentially the exact same build for each character, right? I'm going to give them all the resilience cube. I would say Lilla probably needs the bashing cube, but I'm going to make it completely fair. The only thing that's different is going to be the fact that they are different typings, right? That's really all it is. There are different DPSs, but I'm gonna try to keep it all the exact same so that nothing is really like changed and anything like that. And what I mean by that is, obviously, I would say Ein. I would rather use Summer and Niche here with Ein rather than Maxwell, but obviously because Summer and Niche just gives like a greater buff to obviously someone like Ein, then if I was to run Maxwell with Lilla type shit, it's like I'm just gonna keep it all the same, right? It is what it is. But all of them are gonna have resilience cube. All of them are going in there. We're only seeing the type advantage. So I want to say my ranking would be Black Shadow, Scarlet as the top DPS, then Red Hood, then, or maybe it's hard because Lilla has such an advantage here. One, she already does additional damage after a certain amount of shots are fired, and she also increases, not increases, but she gives herself back bullets. So she's shooting for a long time doing damage, right? She's shooting for a long time doing damage. And if I actually pull up her kit here on Pride Win for some of you guys, I'm just gonna read it for you guys. Lilla is a character who she's quite powerful. She gives herself a massive attack damage attack buff on her burst skill. She does also have damage taken increase after 60 normal attacks. She deals additional damage on her second skill and her first skill and reloads bullets. She gives herself a crit rate buff. This character is a character that is going to kind of have an advantage, I feel like, when it comes to just raw DPS. Not to mention she has cores, right? She has cores here, so it's gonna be one for the books. But again, we are doing only a minute and 30 seconds for each run, right? A minute and 30 seconds for each run, and we're gonna see where they're at. So I have to kind of remember their numbers by taking a screenshot or something. Do I think Lilla is gonna be? She might be second. I don't know. Lilla, if I'm doing a minute and 30 and we're considering everything Lilla has with cores, she might be broken, right? Like, in her numbers, she might be honestly second highest, if not the highest. Okay, let's wait. Okay, so 1 minute 30. Oh, so in a minute and 30, Lilla got 391 million. So right now, obviously, she's in first place. I took the screenshot. We're gonna go on to the next team with the next main DPS. Now we're using Modernia here, obviously. Modernia, I feel like she's gonna come in last place with the DPS only because we're fighting one enemy. And her burst skill becomes worse with just one enemy, if that makes sense. Like, her damage output becomes less than her normal attack. The only good thing is that she has, like, look, my Modernia kind of has a huge advantage with her overload gear. She has well over 1,000 bullets, and then when you're in her burst skill stage, she does have 15-second full burst, and then she also has infinite bullets. So realistically, Modernia is never gonna have to reload. I don't think, at least, right? And even if she is reloading, you got to remember Crown is on the team. So it's like, Crown is on the team. If she does end up reloading, right? She reloaded right there, but it was kind of instant, right? It was kind of instantly. I don't know if Modernia is going to even come close, though, if I was looking at DPS. Modernia is a character who has hit rate buffs. I don't think that matters here. She has crit damage buffs, right? She stacks crit damage after 200 shots fired. She gives herself an attack buff as well, like 20% or something like that. It's, if I remember correctly, it's been so long since I looked at her kit. Yeah, so she gives herself a crit damage buff. She does lose ammo capacity, but she gives herself a 30% attack buff. Right, these characters, all of them have overload gear. I do have to level up Ein's overload gear before we go into her showcase, because hers is not leveled up, but I can level it up. But everybody else has full leveled up overload gear, right? So Is Modernia gonna come higher than Ludmilla? I doubt it. I really doubt it. But we'll see. I think if it was only mobs, like 3 enemies or 4 enemies minimum, she guaranteed would hit harder. But that's just let's see. Okay, that's what. Okay, a lot less. A lot less. Hers is 292. Ludmilla's was like 391. So unfortunately, right now, Modernia is in last place, which I was expecting. Just because she's more of like, she's a DPS, a good DPS, but she is a, don't mind this number, we have the screenshot. She's a DPS, but she's more of like a universal DPS. Like, I don't want to say she's a sub DPS, but like, she kind of is. If that, I don't want to say she is because she's not, but how I see her and how I use Modernia and how everybody uses Modernia, she kind of displays that, right? In a sense. Now we have obviously Scarlet. Now this is the character I'm expected to become top 1, right? I think this character is so broken, and not to mention we're fighting a boss. Her damage output is really freaking scary, right? Her damage output is very scary, and it's because of her percentages. Her percentages is what puts her very high, obviously, on like just DPS charts, right? If you don't know, after a certain amount of time she attacks, she's going to just be dealing damage, right? After, what is it? I believe 3 normal attacks, she'll deal 250% of final attack as additional damage. After 6 normal attacks, she'll be dealing 500% of final attack as distributed damage. And then after 9 normal attacks, she'll be doing an AoE effect of 750% of final attack and distributed damage. Now, because it's all to one enemy, this one enemy is going to be collecting all that damage. Not to mention, when you go into her burst skill, rather than her first skill becoming 3, 6, and 9, it becomes 1, 2, and 3. Meaning after 1 normal attack, 250. After 2 normal attacks, 500. After 3 normal attacks, 750 when you're in her burst skill. Not to mention, she gives herself a massive charge damage buff at 150%, and then a massive attack buff at 115%. So the character is quite crazy, right? The character is quite crazy. Very, very dangerous character. Not to mention, that's just what she does. Remember, everybody on this team buffs up her damage even more, right? So it's like, it's very hard for Scarlet not to be number 1 in this competition right here. Like, obviously take everything you see with a grain of salt, because all these different characters are, in a sense, okay, yeah, 412. I mean, honestly, it's a lot more less, I would say, than I thought she was going to do compared to Ludmilla, right? It's not that that damage is bad, it's just a lot less than what I compared to Ludmilla. But you got to remember, Ludmilla's a character who's kind of always attacking, so it's not that surprising. So right now, Scarlet's in first, as I expected. Ludmilla's in second, and then we have Modernia in last place. Again, like I was saying, take it all with a grain of salt, because all these characters have different investments, right? Some of them are 10, 10, 10. Some of them are, what's it called? Like 10, 6, 10, like the Scarlet. Some of them are like 8, 10, 8. They are all very high invested, but they're not all 10, 10, 10. So this, again, will not be an identical fair showing of all the characters. So take it with a grain of salt, right? It's just kind of like a demonstration. Alrighty, now we have Red Hood. Red Hood is a, she's an insane DPS. Let's just go in with her and let me explain to her, because there's a lot towards Red Hood, right? She's kind of being shafted here in a sense. Not really. Now, the thing about Red Hood is she's a burst 1, 2, and 3 character, and her burst 1 is very, very beneficial towards her, especially when it comes to her damage output. But I gotta be fair, we gotta showcase her as just a burst 3. But if you don't know what Red Hood does, right, for anybody who doesn't know, when you use her burst skill, her 3rd burst skill, she gives herself a 71% attack buff for 10 seconds, which is quite crazy. And then when you use her burst 3, which is what we're using, she'll do a lot. Her charge speed is 100%. Her damage dealt is 51% of final attack, and then her full charge damage is 250% of damage. She has the pierce effect the entire time. She actually stacks charge speed, and then any charge speed over 100% gets converted into charge damage. So if her charge speed, and that's at the value of 2. Oh my god. Yo, when I do videos like this, it makes me realize how broken these characters really are. Like, so I'm so serious when I say it makes me realize how broken these characters really freaking are, right? Red Hood, is she gonna hit harder than Ludmilla? I don't expect it. I mean, maybe I might. Shit, right? Like, you gotta, these characters really are something else. They really are. Right now, obviously, Scarlet's in first with 410, but hey, Red Hood might be passing them, I think. I think Red Hood might pass both of them. Oh, no. Oh, okay, so she's in third place. Okay. Oh, right. A lot of them are iron here, so damn near half the team had to okay, that's why the final number was so much higher. All of them are, like, basically all of them are type advantage. So it's just, that makes sense. But yeah, 353 million was Red Hood's number, putting her in third place right now. Right now it's obviously Scarlet, then Ludmilla, Red Hood, then Modernia, which is what I didn't have at first, but if you guys go back, I changed it and I said Ludmilla might be second. But yeah, let's see what obviously the last character Ein is doing then. Okay, and obviously our last character is Ein, right? I did get her gear up, so that took a bit. But, yeah, I mean, hey, I don't know if Ein is going to come in top 3. Does Ein pass Modernia or Red Hood in damage? It's quite hard to say because she's not with Summer and Nice here. Summer and Nice is a very big character for this girl. One thing I will say, though, is that remember, every burst rotation, this Ein girl is giving herself a massive attack buff. Like, a massive attack buff. She's giving herself like a 70% attack buff every burst rotation. Whether you use her burst skill or not, it's quite crazy. So it's like, I don't know, but we're gonna have to see, right? Hey, please, Ein. I want you. I don't want Ein in last place. I love Modernia. Obviously, this is not a video where whoever comes out first to last, that's the order of how good they are, right? I'm sure we can all agree Red Hood is still the best character in the game. I'm sure we all agree Modernia is there in the top 3. I'm sure we all agree Scarlet's in the top 5. I'm sure we all know this, right? This is just to see their damage output. There's more to a character than only damage, right? And a lot of these characters offer a lot more than only damage. Like, the only ones that really only, like, offer only damage is just Scarlet and, Ludmilla, right? But I guess Ein as well. But I guess Ein as well, right? But Modernia and Red Hood offer a lot more than just damage, right? And that's why I feel like they're in the top 3, and the other characters are in the top 5 to top 10 range, right? I wouldn't say Ein is a top 10 character. I wouldn't say Ludmilla is a top 10. I mean, you could argue it, but I probably wouldn't say they are in the top 10 range. I would say top 20 for sure, though. But let's take a look, right? Come on, Ein. Let me see. Are you cooking? No, you're not gonna cook. Okay, so okay. Oh, she might be tied with somebody. Hold up. Okay, we need to compare all the damages. And then we'll come to our conclusion. So give me a second, though. Alrighty, y'all. So here this is the verdict. This is the verdict for each character. Obviously, first place ended up being the Scarlet, right? Scarlet ended up going for 412 million, right? Again, please take this with a grain of salt. This is not a video that's telling you guys Scarlet's the best character in the game now. No, right? If you don't understand that, then I can't help you. I've already made my disclaimer. Keck W. But yeah, Scarlet getting 412% is not surprising to me. Just too much. She just does too much. Her percentages are too high, on top of her giving herself such high damaging buffs, on top of Crown, Naga, Maxwell, literally, like, it's just too much. It's just too much. In second place, Ludmilla, very surprised because she was quite close. Very surprised because she was quite freaking close. 391. Very impressed. Very impressed. I definitely neglected her damage output, but yeah. I mean, when you think about it, she's really shooting forever and doing too much damage, so it's not that out of the question. Obviously, in third place, we had Red Hood, 353 million, right? Which is still very good. Like, this is all very good damage, y'all. 353 million. I think if we were able to use her first burst skill the first round, I guess that actually comes with Red Hood, so maybe I should have done that, but I just feel like that might have also been unfair because she's just giving herself such a high, but again, it's her own thing, right? It's like Modernia's own thing, so it's kind of hard to say if that's valid or not. You guys let me know down below in the comments if I should have done that or not, right? But obviously Red Hood came in, I think even with it, she might have passed Ludmilla. I'm not sure, but very good there. In fourth place, we had Ein, right? Obviously, Ein was very close to obviously Red Hood, and my Ein isn't as built as my Red Hood, or like my Ein is probably my least invested character here, right? Still very invested, just not as invested as all these other characters. So for her to still be very close to Red Hood, I would say is pretty impressive. For her to do that without having obviously Summer Anise is still very impressive, because this whole time I've been seeing Ein's number with only like Summer Anise, so it's like you gotta bear with me. And then obviously in last place, Modernia. I think one problem with Modernia when it comes to single target enemies is that when you use her burst skill, it's not helping her, because her percentages become very low. Like her normal attack is like 7%. When you use her burst skill, it goes from 7 to 2%, right? So the whole point is that she has infinite bullets, but she's shooting at 2%. I guess technically it would be 5% or something, because her first skill does additional damage for each normal attack or whatever. She's a very not complicated character to explain, but like you guys know what I'm talking about. I was not surprised that Ludmilla or Modernia came in last place. I was expecting her to. I was quite right about everything, I would say, right? At first, my first guess would be Scarlet 1, Red Hood 2, Ludmilla 3, I'm 4, and then Modernia. But when I was doing the showcase for Ludmilla, I realized mid-showcase that she would probably be second and pass Red Hood, just because like she does too much damage. So you guys let me know what you think. Hope you guys enjoyed this little fun video. I think I did, right? Kind of competing these characters. I never really do something like this, right? Again, maybe to a lot of you guys, all of this was like a waste because they weren't like with their best teams, but I like keeping it fair, in my opinion, having them all with the same team of characters who are buffing. Like, it's not like these characters don't buff. Like all these DPSs are getting the exact same buff from all the other characters on the team. So I find that to be more fair. But you guys let me know down below in the comments. It's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.